I'm setting up this a little bit differently because I have the cable all the way up top. And how I like to do it is I'm actually gonna lean over and do the wrist curl from this position. Now, I mentioned earlier that some people tend to find wrist pain when they're coming from an extended wrist and doing a wrist curl like this. This exercise, because we have the cable up here, we're not actually getting as much into extension, so there's not as much pressure for your wrist going back. So if you tend to also get pain, this tends to feel a little bit better. I think when it comes to training the anterior compartment, it's, you think about stability, you think about, the usual stuff, trying to get a good stretch on the exercise. However, because I feel like pain is so prevalent for a lot of people, choosing an exercise that's relatively pain-free is probably gonna be a really good bet. Even though we're not able to get as good of a stretch, let's say on a dumbbell wrist curl, we're still gonna get a more mid-range focused exercise where the hardest part is gonna be more in this mid-range area. So at least we're not, getting a super ascending resistance profile where the hard part's like all the way down here, like on the behind the back curl. So overall, TLDRs, it feels a little bit more even from a resistance profile perspective. Also, in terms of progressive overload, unlike on the dumbbell variation, we don't really have to deal with the exercise being more unwieldy as we progress. So progressive overload is pretty good. Now, in terms of cons, if I had to be nitpicky, some people may find getting to this position a little bit unintuitive, like they'll throw their body into it and kind of like turn it into more of this kind of motion. But at the end of the day, if you can simply focus on bringing your wrist forward like this and not moving anywhere else, you should be good. This is a solid S